Hey everyone, it's Riley, and today I have 10 different unique yearly spreads to share with you guys. So I have already shared a few videos here on my channel of like full 2023 journal setups. So I've got my own, which I'm going to link up here. I've also shared a custom one, and I have another custom one that I'll be sharing, or maybe I already have. Getting my YouTube schedule confused in my head. But anyways, if you want to watch any of those videos, you can find even more ideas. But in this video, I just kind of wanted to isolate and talk about a few different yearly spreads that I think are rather unique that you can use now as you're setting your bullet journal up for 2023. And if you are looking for a journal for yourself or for some other supplies, I'm going to have all of my supplies linked down below along with discount codes. If you want to support me here on the channel, I would really appreciate your subscription. But you also can go and check out my Etsy shop if you're interested in purchasing any of my journals for the new year. So comment down below if there are any of these spreads that you plan to use in your journal, or if you have other like unique yearly spread ideas that I didn't mention here. I'd love to hear that down in the description, and let's get to it. All right, so we're starting off strong with a great shot of the top of my head. I'm sorry, I do get better at this eventually in the video. But anyways, I wanted to start off with a page that I actually am considering adding to my own 2023 bullet journal setup. And I just called it like 2023 challenges. And no, it's not a place to write down all the hardships you face in 2023. It's a place to like give yourself challenges for each month. So this could be like themed, you know, it could have to do with like health and fitness or something. And then each month you give yourself a challenge, like, you know, exercise this many days a week, run this far, this many days a week, you know, that kind of thing. And essentially it's kind of just like a giant habit tracker where you keep track of like one unique habit each month. So one thing that you wouldn't normally necessarily try to do every day, but you're just like being intentional about doing it that specific month. So it could have to do with like reading or just general wellness. It could have to do with cooking, cleaning, things like that. You just set yourself a different challenge each month, and then you can track that. So that's the first one that I've got here. And I know in the intro I said that this was going to be 10 ideas. In the title it's 8. That's because it's actually 8. I meant to do 10, but the issue is my desk literally touches my son's bassinet. So like anytime that he's napping, which is very often, I can't use my desk, which is where I do all of my filming. And so I have to wait till he's awake, but when he's awake, he's cranky. So I spent literally a whole day trying to film this. Every time he would be like happy-ish, I would quickly sit down and film like half a page or just a couple things. And it took me all day long. And finally I just gave up on getting those last 2 in. So I'm sorry, it's just 8 spreads. So as you saw on the previous page, I essentially just drew like a calendar for each month, and then you treat it like a habit tracker for one unique challenge or habit for that month. Moving on to this page, I have a roadmap for 2023. Now, lots of the pages that you're seeing in this video were inspired by a journal that I made quite a while back. It's actually one of the first custom journal flip throughs that I posted on my channel, and it was just a journal full of collections. No monthly setups, no yearly spreads, no weekly spreads, nothing like that, just packed full of collections. So if you want way more ideas, you can check out that video. I'm going to link it above. But the thing is, it's so easy to come up with like unique yearly spreads that are really, you know, like specialized, like just for people who have a dog, or just for people who are in a book club, or like things like that. You know, it's easy to come up with yearly spreads that fit a very specific niche. And that journal has a lot of those, but what I want to do in this video is come up with unique yearly spreads that can be used by like basically anyone. So anyone can use this, like the year of healthy challenges or challenges that I just set up, or this roadmap spread. So you can treat this kind of like a goal setting page, but you just plot out each month of the year, or maybe there are specific days even you want to be more specific, and you can map them out either like this, like a little pin that's been dropped, and I'm just writing January beside it, and then underneath you would write down kind of where you want to be at in January regarding your goals or whatever, maybe a project, maybe you want your roadmap to be specific to one certain project. Or you could set up the different months or milestones as like a road sign like this, which I should have used my white gel pen, but I just kind of got lazy, again, screaming baby, so I just quickly used my black fine liner to write February on top. So as you guys likely know, I absolutely love this time of year when it comes to journaling. You know, you're setting up a new journal, setting some new habits for yourself, some new routines and intentions and goals and all that kind of stuff. But even aside from just like setting up the spreads, I love this time of year because it's kind of time for like a fresh start. So with that, I would like to thank Ritual for sponsoring today's video. If you are ready to set some new habits, some new routines in your life, no matter what stage you are at, Ritual is ready to help you out with that. So as I've mentioned before, if you've been around my channel for a bit, you'll know that I had my first baby back in August. And so Ritual is actually what I turn to for my postnatal needs. They have this awesome postnatal vitamin that gives me 15 essential nutrients just to help my body through this incredibly demanding few months that follow giving birth. I really appreciate Ritual just because of their transparency. You know, they're so honest with their process, with their ingredients, even with their packaging. They use recycled material. And so I just love how transparent they are with what they are giving to you, both for you to put in your body and just the packaging that it comes in. So if you would like to get 20% off from Ritual as you're diving into the new year and starting some new habits, please do use my link, use my code. I'm going to put them up here on the screen and also down in the description box so you can find them after the video, and go check out Ritual and what they can offer you. So that's the idea with the roadmap. And if I were doing this, I would spread it across 2 pages in my journal, but since it's just a little sample, I just did 1 page. Now moving over to the other side, I'm setting up like a home projects page. So I'm just drawing a very quick little house doodle, and obviously you could take any of these spreads and make them a lot cuter than what I'm doing here. I just used kind of the same colors as my own yearly setup, which I'm going to link that video right here if I haven't already. These are basically the same colors that I used for my yearly setup. And for all the decor, I'm just using those butterfly stamps that you saw. Those are going to make a comeback. And those are from Paperwrld, which is the same place I get my alphabet stamps. And so that's going to be definitely linked down below. So as you can see, I titled this page 2023 Home Projects. And then in each little box in the house, I'm making each of those like a room of my actual house, you know? So I've got like bathroom, kitchen, dining room, living room, pantry, just like different things. Like if you want to reorganize a certain set of shelves, or you want to paint this, or, you know, deep clean that. This is just kind of a place to write down all of your projects for each room in the house. And you could use a similar design, honestly, to write down like your sort of regular chores that you just want to remember. But yeah, moving on to the next one. This is another one that I really love and might use in my journal someday. It's just a page for 15-minute tasks. And of course you could do this same thing for 5-minute tasks or 30-minute tasks or whatever. But again, there's a little butterfly. This is just a place to write down things that you can do when you just have a little bit of time. You know, when you have such an awkward amount of time and you don't want to like waste it scrolling on your phone, but you also don't have time to like start a project. So this is just a place that you can come to when you're in a situation like that and you just want an idea of what to do. So I'm doing 6 different categories here. So I've got self-care, cleaning, planning, creativity, other, and then you can just go and list, okay, if I just have a spare 10-15 minutes, what can I do to get ahead on my cleaning? Or what kind of self-care tasks can I do? Yeah, basically this is just an alternative to picking up your phone for 15 minutes. But I really love that idea, and I like how this page turned out. It was super, super simple to set up, but the colors and everything, I just feel like it's really cute. All right, so moving on to the next page here. Again, these are all supposed to be spreads that anyone would like to use at the beginning of their journal. So I decided to include 1 bingo spread. You could really turn like anything into bingo. If you watched my own 2023 setup video, you will have seen that I did like a recipes bingo because I want to get a little bit more creative with some of my cooking. But this is bucket list bingo. So instead of doing like I've seen people do, you know, just a regular bucket list or like 23 things to do in 2023, this is like a very similar idea to all of those things, but it's bingo. So in each box, you're going to write down something that you want to do, something that's on your bucket list for the year. And when you actually do it, you get to color it in, put a sticker on, however you want to mark that, and then you can try to get bingos. So try to get a row, try to get a blackout. I don't know, maybe set like a mini prize when you get a row and when you get a blackout or something like that. It's just a way of kind of taking a regular bucket list and turning it into a bit more of a game. So yeah, I gave the example of recipe bingo. You could do like reading bingo or like movie bingo, date night bingo, just anything that you would normally write as a list and like check off, you can turn into a bingo sheet to make it a little bit more exciting. All right, so let's move on here to the next one. I'm trying to remember what this is. Oh yes, words to live by. So this is kind of like a quote page. For me, I would probably write a lot of like Bible verses in here and stuff like that. This is just like, you know how there are those things that you want to remember and like, wow, that was really profound. I want to shape my life around that. This page is for that kind of stuff. So I've titled it Words to Live By. And again, this is the kind of thing that you could easily just write as a list, but to make it more exciting, I feel like pretty much anything in your journal you could just write as a list. But to make it more exciting, I call this like a patchwork quilt sort of design. So basically you could use a black pen. I chose to use a light gray here. You just draw a bunch of different sizes and shapes of like boxes kind of all over the page for big quotes, small quotes. If you already have your quotes or your words to live by picked out, you could write them in first and then draw boxes that fit them. But I just draw like random size boxes and then put quotes into boxes that I think they'll fit in. All right, moving over to the next page. We've got a wants and a needs page. And this one I feel like may seem kind of boring, but for me, I actually do use a thing like this, but I put it on my phone so that I can just send it off to people, because whenever it comes time for like my birthday or for Christmas or whatever, and my mom's like, what do you want for your birthday? I used to not think of that in advance, and so I would just ask for something. Then, you know, like after I know that she's already bought it for me, I was like, oh, I should have asked for this instead. So this is where you can write down stuff like that, things that you want, things that you need. And the needs, maybe they're things that you're gonna save up for and buy yourself, or maybe they're things that you're gonna ask for as gifts, or maybe you're just gonna go get them right away because you need them that bad. But this is just kind of like a wish list that you've put into 2 different categories. So you've got it ready to go. All right, moving on to the last one here. This one I titled Keep in Touch. I don't know why, I feel like stay in touch would have sounded better, but this is for tracking like relationships, people that you want to keep in touch with or stay in touch with. So again, I've got my markers up at the top. Oh, I don't think I've actually mentioned the colors for those. The sort of gold colored one is Tombow 026. The bluish one is Tombow N52, and then the peach one is Zig Brushable in the color Fawn. I got them all from Stationery Pal. Again, I have a discount for Stationery Pal linked below. So you could set this one up in a few different ways. I chose to set it up exactly the same as I would set up a Year in Pixels or a health log. But alternatively, you could set this up kind of like a When Did I Last page, because essentially it's like, when did I last communicate with this person, you know? So for me, I moved away from my hometown. It's hard to stay in touch with family and with friends. So I used to use something kind of like this, especially during COVID, to try to stay in touch with people. So I've got all 12 months written across the top, all 31 days written down the side, and then I've got 2 separate keys here. So the top is going to be for people, and the bottom I'm just calling my key. So basically, and I'll do a little example once I've finished drawing in the spread. Basically, for each person, I'll give them a distinct color. And I did some really clever examples with fake names. And then for like the method of keeping in touch, I'll use just an icon that I draw on top of that color in black pen. So you could draw like a little phone doodle if you phoned them. You could draw a little camera doodle if you FaceTime them. Or you can just draw designs like the ones that I'm about to do in my example. That's like a black dot, a black X. So yeah, you've got the people in a color. And then for the key, you just draw on top of that color whatever you want to symbolize how you actually kept in touch with them. And at this point, my baby started screaming, so I was writing as fast as I could, and I'm prepared to be cut off really abruptly right here. Thank you all so much for joining me to just walk through a few different yearly spread ideas. I hope that you guys appreciated it and enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.